Here we go. This is going to be fun and probably racially insensitive. It's going to be a tough lesson for some of you guys and girls out there. Welcome to the show. And I'm going to say it, you are indeed very welcome. Bob, that cat. Let me go and shut the blinds because it is creating a silhouette. Shut up, big boy. It's creating a silhouette of my mind. And now I'm in a dark room. Katifa is back. How do Katifa? That's better. Why does it look on the lob? Why does it? Is that better? Why does that door look wonky? The door. I can assure you, the door is straight. How do Katifa? We're here for a little bit of classic Beswick. We're going to listen, and guess what? I've even done some prep in as much as I found out where we were last time. We only I'll do Cock Bongo, I'll do Delith, I'll do the Smiths, I'll do Charlie. We only got about 40 minutes. No, we got about 55 minutes of a Beswick last time. So it's Newman Lucas, the Find the Luke. Love it. I'll do Sit Stands, I'll do Robert. Ian's in Aylesbury. I'll do Ian. I'll do Sachiki. I'll do Charlie. I want to apologise. This morning's stream was funny, but it was grumpy, and I've sent Max an apology. It was. I'm also having great problems for some reason downloading the audio from the YouTube, which is how I get the podcasts. Right? Oh, hello, mate. I didn't see you there. You should have said something, big boy. I am having great trouble downloading the audio. So I'm going to put this in the chat. If anybody is able to download this audio from that YouTube link, and I'm going to put it in the Discord. It's really odd. Anyone able to download this audio for me? There we go. That's great times to be alive. I'll do Pringles. I'll do Gatford. I'll do the Lobster. I'll do Big Boy. I'll do Quiet Bloke. I'll do Pixel. I'll do La La Lula. Don't forget your subs and all that stuff count. Today of all days, it's a very holy day today. That tail is so floofy. Look at that tail, but it's covered in crap. So we're going to listen to some Beswick, and I've even found out where we got to last time. We were just talking about the Bay City Rollers and Boy George. The last 30 minutes, Mr. Bodell, was tremendous. The stuff with Max was uncomfortable, and I was a dick. I mean, he was a dick as well. No, I was a dick, and I've apologised to him. How do Ash? Ash is in Slough. How do Ash? Very well, thank you. We're going to have fun today. I finished my research project. Just got to check see if I need a title page or not, and then we're there. Newman, steady. So we're going to go into the Discord. If anyone wants to come and join us in the Discord, you're very, very welcome. We're going to be in the Talk About the Show page. And if you want to come and do like a kind of round table kind of thing, if you want to come and do a little round table thing, you're very, very welcome. I'd love to have you on board. If not, we will just chat. Speedy, thank you. So annoying. Thank you, Speedy PD76 for the sub. Are you doing the audio for me, Rob? I couldn't get it to work. I used 4K and it isn't working. Thank you, sir. So we're going to listen. What we do here is we listen to a classic episode of Alan Beswick. When I say classic, I just mean old. Big boy, come and sit with me if you want to sit with me. Leave Patty alone. Patty is not a fan of you, dude, and that's okay. So we're going to listen. This is from the second hour, I believe, of the third. There he is. Here's the big man, Gatford. Hey, Gatford, lovely to see you. Cannot hear you at the. Oh, you can't. No, you can hear me. I just remembered. I need to do. Oh, there we go. I need to go into Discord on my laptop. And this is the great problem I had last time. We were unable to. So I'm just going to say goodbye for a second. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. And then I go. So if you want to join us, join. If you've got Patreon, you've got Discord privileges. And if I go here, if I go to settings, this is going to be some kind of show. By the way, thank you to all of our Patreons. We can afford to do these free shows because of your patron each. So thank you. And this will go out as a podcast for the 666s and above. Gatford, do you want to say hello? Why can't I hear you? Oh, hang on. Say it again.
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
how are you?
He's coming through crystal clear. It's Crystal Waters here.
Thank goodness to an internet company I shan't name here.
Okay. Quiet Bloke is gifting a sub. Thank you.
Only because they were a bit dodgy last month and I'm still not happy with it.
Okay. Caterer says you have remembered. I have remembered. Gatford, we're going to listen to a classic, a Beswick stuff. When I say classic, I mean old. And I do have to warn people, sometimes the language is racially insensitive. Sometimes it's homophobic. It's certainly South Africa and AIDS were very popular at this time. And you will get some offensive language about that.
Your warning has been noted.
I've got a problem with my Mac. So you're coming through on my MacBook, right? And it's a common problem with Macs. Every now and then, it crackles, right? And I've Googled it, and it is, and that would just be from Gatford. You're right, Matty. And it's a common thing, right? And they say, well, one way to fix it is if you go in Terminal and you turn off this thing, that might fix it. And I tried that, and it didn't work. So it means I get this awful, annoying crackle through my MacBook. And if anybody knows how I can get rid of that, may the gods please empower you to tell me.
But as you're doing a classic Beswick, it just adds to the retro radio feel.
Yeah. Well, I suppose so, but it's just really annoying, and it means you can't be as heard as I would like you to be as heard.
Everyone's probably fed up with my voice.
There's the crackle. You see, you heard the crackle, right? It is.
I didn't hear it. No.
You won't hear it.
Well, no, but I have got. Hold on. If I put. Hold on. There's the crackle. See, now I tried to listen to it on the telly, and I heard no crackle.
Well, the crackle comes through. Let's just wait for the crackle. No. Let's just wait.
Yeah.
You don't need to be talking for it to go. My jeans smell. I've got smelly jeans. Notice I've stopped wearing the Blyman watch. It's now on eBay if anyone wants to buy it.
How many days?
There we go. There it was. Shush.
Okay.
Are you not listening on the TV anymore?
No. I'll join you to. Sorry.
No, you missed it then. If anyone knows, and this is now, it's do not hyperfocus. Do not hyperfocus. Do not hyperfocus. We can live with it. Let's get straight into Bezzy Bez. I just need to, hang on a minute, I've got it sorted out. So we are 19 minutes in on this episode. Let me download this episode. We're 19 minutes in.
What was the date as well?
It's the 3rd of January, 1986.
Okay, so a brand new year. Okay.
Brand new year. Brand new.
Have a look at news. I'm gonna Google what happened on the 3rd of January.
You don't need to Google it. You're going to hear it. Also,
okay, yeah, good point.
This is only okay. Here we go. If anyone knows how to get rid of that crackle, please. I'm going to put down crackle because it's so annoying. It's not worth buying a new MacBook for, but it kind of feels like it's worth buying a new MacBook for. Right, here we go.
Well, I think
and
okay.
You can't hear this, can you?
they've gone to Hollywood.
No.
You can't hear that. Hello?
No.
Okay, that's not a problem. That is not a problem. Then, oh no, I've done it the wrong way round.
I did.
You're supposed to be on the computer, and Beswick is supposed to be on the laptop. So, Caitifer, you are wrong. So, right, this is all good. Caitifer is wrong. And for that, she's going to get, I'm not going to say it because she's a woman, but going to get those butt cheeks spanked. Hello,
on
Gafford.
this day, Nick Faldo got married. And Jens Bier, the Danish composer, died.
That's why today is so familiar to me. Right,
Yeah.
hang on. Let me just check I've got the right episode.
I'm guessing we're going to get a lot of... Yeah.
Hang on.
5 miles to get into fourth gear. Route Angus. Right.
Hang on.
It's impossible. There's roundabouts everywhere.
Okay, right. So this is the annoying thing, right? So now we're right. Bear with me, caller. We're going to do it on a different computer. You talk and entertain them.
Yeah. Hello, is that Pete? Is Pete there? Pete's in the room, but he's not talking yet, so that's interesting. What else happened on this day? Let's see if there's a... Oh, hello, Pete. You all right?
Hello?
We're filling.
These are not technicals.
Filling,
these are improvicals.
Is there a stream?
The 3rd of January was a Friday. And Liam Treadwell, Jacob Timpano, and Lloyd Polite were all born on that day.
These are not technicals, these are improvicals. This does mean I won't have my soundboard, which is a shame, but we will have perfect, crisp audio from both my guests. Did someone else join the room? Who's that? What's going on there? I heard someone else join the room. Hang on a minute. Oh, I'm not in the room anymore. Oh, God, that's why Gatford's quiet, because no technicals, these are improvicals. I'm back, baby. I'm back.
There we
I'm
are.
back.
Right.
I forgot. I disconnected you. I don't know if you were talking that whole time. It just dawned on me that I disconnected you to...
It's all right.
Well, is it
I
all
was
right?
trying to let the world know that Lloyd Polite was born on this day, and apparently he's a rapper. Well, I've never heard of him.
Okay,
But it's a great name.
I'm trying to log in. Right, I'm logging into my gaming laptop that I never use. Right, so goodbye, you. This is something happened and your pin isn't available. Please let me log into my actual own computer. I finished my research project. Gatford.
Oh yeah, did you buy the folder and everything?
Folder is bought. I just need to know if I need to do a title page before I print it. Pete is here. Hello, Pete.
You mentioned something earlier. You talk about printing it. They know it's 2021, yeah.
What do you mean?
Who prints anything anymore?
Oh God, you have to print this stuff.
Really?
Password is incorrect. Make sure you are using the password for your Microsoft account. Oh Jesus.
When was the last time you printed anything, Pete?
Last time I had to send off a contract for work because nowhere accepts like digital signatures, really.
All the induction stuff for my college course was all done as digital signatures.
Maybe you're not officially in.
Excuse me. Pardon me.
I don't have my discount badge yet anyway. So
I didn't realise that there was a stream going on when I first came in here. I was like, oh, I'll just pop in and have a chat with you.
No one just pops in. Everyone is here for a purpose and for a reason. And the reason is I'm now trying to log into my gaming laptop. Thank you, Robert Pigeon, which I was using. The password is incorrect. Just let me log into my flipping computer, mate. Something happened and your PIN isn't available. So click to set up your PIN again. All right. I mean, goodness gracious me.
Oh, Roberto Pigeon has said, check your email, sir. I don't know what that's in relation to.
Yeah, I just acknowledged that, but thank you.
Oh, okay.
It's
Sorry.
because he has ripped the audio. Finding it very difficult to... I'm just going through all my passwords. Try and log in. I'm finding it very difficult to rip the audio from the YouTube video these days. My usual method is a system called 4K and or clip converter, which is very rude, pop-up heavy. Hang on a second. 9... This is fun. 9409123. We're in. Verify. Am I going to be allowed into my flipping laptop now? For some reason, it's not working.
Why did you just give out my bank account details here?
It says you're not connected to the internet.
Ooh.
Literally, I'm connected to the internet. New PIN. Confirm PIN. I don't know why
This is
I
not-
was on this laptop earlier. It should just be open, and there you go. We're in. Right. Now we're going to get this. We are going to listen to some classic Beswick. Now I'm starting to remember why we only got 55 minutes into an episode when we did this the other day, because my life is a crash of a car. Here we go. We're in the Alan Beswick folder. And I put another Alan Beswick folder for some reason. We are going to the second part of the 3rd of January, 1986, and we're going to click and we're going to download, and then we're going to go straight in at 19 minutes, and you are going to hear it. I am going to hear it. The lovely, lovely listeners are going to hear it. Gatford's going to hear it. Pete's going to hear it. The Ford brothers are here. And we're going to have so much fun.
Also, Alistair's in the lounge.
Well, Alistair's in the wrong room.
Yeah.
He's with us.
Come
now.
over to the right room, Alistair.
Come on, Alistair.
Has the responsibility.
Flipping heck, that was loud.
But I could hear that.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go to 19 minutes. It's come up in a very weird format. Here we go. We're going to go to 19 minutes. So we have just had, as far as I remember, we have just had someone talking about roundabouts and about learner drivers not being able to do roundabouts. Someone has phoned up to say what happened to the Bay City Rollers, and this is 1986, and Beswick has said, or is about to say, who remembers Culture, whatever they're called, and Thingy Bob George. So just check you can hear this. You hear this?
Oh,
Okay.
cheers.
You hear that?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Let's go in. If anyone wants to speak, just say something. Oh, shut up.
That'll do, Mike.
Shut up. If anyone wants to say anything, just speak, and I will keep an ear out for you. It's a little bit tricky because you are... no, you're not, actually. I can turn you up. Alistair's coming and going like there's nobody's business. Alistair. Jen, thank you for the sub. Quiet Bloke, thank you for gifting the sub. Alistair, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can hear you, and it's wonderful to have you on board. 20 minutes into this, let's get some Beswick.
The top 40 on Radio 1 and the net chart on the independent local radio stations.
Go on.
Well, the independent local radio station says that they're better than the one on Radio 1. Well, is that because they have more like record shops connected up?
Does anyone know? Pete, you may know. Does anyone actually know how the charts actually worked back in the day? Because Gallup did the BBC chart. He's about to say the independent broadcasters had a chart. And now it's to do with downloads and plays on Spotify, which to me seems insane. But back then, there were like there were certain shops, weren't there? This was the thing.
Yeah.
That we were told there were certain shops where the sales would be rung through the till, and sometimes the record companies knew where the shops were, so they would go and buy 50 of something. But that, to me, feels a little bit like the detector vans actually had equipment inside them. I think that's a myth, right?
It's a little bit like, did anyone actually ever get a radar diary?
No,
It's a little bit
it's
of like...
not. It's not, because
Well,
I
in
know
the sense that I
it's
didn't...
not.
Well, let me
It's not.
explain.
No. I'm
Let me
going
explain,
to
and then-
shut you down because I know people that got a radar diary. I know people.
Okay. All I was going to say was
No,
that's what it
don't
meant
need
to me, because
You
I
don't
never knew
need-
anyone who got a
you
radar diary.
don't need to say it. Who was that guy that used to follow me everywhere? Now we don't. Redamphy had a radio diary.
Oh, did he? He probably stole one, though, to be fair.
What happened to
Reda-
Redamphy?
Redemphy slags you off now.
Yeah. He's one of the
What?
haters.
He does
Yeah.
he? What does he say?
Well, not.
What does he
He's
say?
he's critical. He was basically just saying that you're not good with money.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not one of the big haters, but yeah, he was
I'm
posting
not good with
critically
money.
about
What
you.
does? I'm listening. I can take criticism, as was shown by today's show. What does he mean? I'm not good with money.
And he called you lanky as well. I think.
Again, what does he mean? I'm not good with money. What does that
I
mean?
think he was just trying to say that you should still have your 11 o'clock show millions, and
What?
be able to live off that.
Well,
I was surprised. I only remembered it because I was surprised to see his name coming up as a twat.
This is on Digital Spy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a big foamer on Digital Spy.
Well, I know he was, but he was always such a. I was always. I'm going to say I was a hero to that guy.
I met him. He was a nice bloke. He came to some stuff and to shows and meetups. He was a nice enough bloke, I thought.
But everyone
Very
knows I
quiet.
wasn't good with money. I've made no hiding of it. I was a cocaine addict. I spent all of the 11 o'clock show money on drugs. So in that respect, he's absolutely right. There was, but that was 20 years ago. I mean, unless he knows exactly what I got for the jungle and what happened to that, what is he on about? What does he say about the shows?
I'm not entirely sure he listens anymore.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Peter.
Oh,
I don't think he has.
Peter Fajita.
That was the only time I don't tend to look at all the using it, but that was the only time I spotted it, and it seemed odd because it was him.
That's really disappointed me. But as we say, they all turn. They all turn. Screw you, Richard Adamfi. Screw you and your...
Except me, Katia, and Philip from South Norwood.
Paul Bodell will never turn, will you, Paul?
Well, that's true. Yeah, no.
I'll not turn. That's what I was just going to say, Ian. They all turn in the end. That's what you said to me.
Yeah, they all do. They all do. Well, Richard Adamfi, I forgive you. I forgive you for I forgive you for standing slightly too close to me, metaphorically, for 15 years and then feeling you had to put a knife in my back. That's why you were standing so close to me.
Are we going to turn then?
You have.
Oh.
Dave, thank you for the sub. That's really surprised me. Oh well,
Sorry, I shouldn't have. It just came out. I shouldn't have said that.
No, you should have done. I brought him up, and now we have a thing. Oh, don't worry, it's not going to send me into a spiral. I'm cool. I'm cool with it. It's just like, oh blimey. Well,
do you think you'll turn, Gary?
No, I don't think I've got that kind of venom in me. I really don't.
Well, Richard, if you're listening, or if any of the Digital Spy crew are listening, I hope you're doing well. I wish you success.
They'll be listening.
Of course they are. They're always listening. They're in the Discord. I wish you success, and I wish you love, and I wish you life, and I could do with a bit more money. But trust me, I'm having the time of my life doing this. And then one day when I get back on radio, I'm banning all of you from listening. You're all banned from listening. The Digital Spy people are banned for listening. Web Surgeon says, I'll let you know when I turn. Should we get back to some Beswick?
Ian, can I just say one thing before you start again?
Yeah, go on.
Gary's T-shirt today was class.
Thank you, Alistair.
What was it? I didn't see it.
Pink Floyd one. My mum bought me that.
There you go. What a great band, Ian. What did you think?
Oh, that's Robbie Dove that sent me that. Robbie Dove. Now
I remember Robbie.
There's a turnaround. Robbie sent me that. Robbie, that was in the chat that managed to rip the audio. Now, there's a turnaround from someone who is a very rude young man. And I'm sorry to harp on about it, Robbie, because that was a long time ago. And then came to a show one day and said, I'm really sorry. I was out of order and I've changed. And now is an absolute delight. Absolute delight. I love that guy. So, Richard Adamfi, there's time for you to repent. And here's the thing. On Digital Spy, they'll be taking this seriously. Oh, well, he said that when he gets back on radio, he's going to ban us. Two things. He won't get back on radio. And secondly, he can't stop us from listening. And then he said that Radamfi should repent. And why? I don't think he should repent. Ian's brought all of this on him. Guys, it's just words.
Let me finish typing first.
Yeah. Roberto Pigeon, Robbie Dove, you are he's obsessed with the birds. Of course you're welcome to join the Discord. Everybody is welcome to join the Discord. Let's get back to some Beswick.
I think neither Radio 1 nor the network chart people, do it themselves, first of all. The chart is put together by independent sort of opinion poll organisations, so each of them use a separate one. The one that Radio 1 use publishes its figures on Tuesday, and the one that independent radio use publish its figures in time for the programme on Sunday.
Paul Bodell has left. He's turned. Spacey, thank you for the sub.
Because on TVAM, well, that's by the IBA, that's that, isn't it?
I'm not sure. Yes, TVAM is the
It's on ITV, isn't it?
ITV, yes, but it's not connected with independent radio. But it's go on.
Oh, because they use the Radio 1 chart on Wednesday.
Well, that's up to them. As I say, they're not connected with independent radio at all.
One chart on Wednesday.
Oh, I see. What a pillock.
It was all a build-up to him just playing a jingle. That was it. You have.
Was that what the caller played the jingle?
Yeah, the caller played the jingle.
Oh.
Just to let you know, not because I'm obsessed or anything. Richard Adamphy does not follow me on Twitter, and it looks like he's not tweeted for a couple of years from this account. Oh no, there's one from April the 11th, but a lot of his last tweets are about John Holmes. Oh, then he says September the 10th.
He got very obsessed with John Holmes.
September the 10th. Well, mediocrity is popular. September the 10th, 2017. Does anyone have any idea why I'm suddenly being trolled on Digital Spy? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I don't. Can I just say, I am not obsessed in any way. To the Digital Spy people listening, I am not obsessed. What the fuck is this? Then I see Matty Stevo. Thank you for the sub, Crayfish. Matty Stevo, December the 20th, 2019, tweeting Richard Adamphy. What is going on behind my back with these people? Hey, Richard, guess it. Can anyone complete this sentence? Hey, Richard, do you have 4 more words? Anyone complete that?
An email address? I could no.
Do you have Monday night's Christo show?
Oh
my God.
Hashtag demod Matty Stevo.
Oh my days. Oh my days.
You wouldn't like me if I mentioned Christo.
Don't mention Christo. You wouldn't like me if I mentioned Christo. Oh no, Matty would never turn him.
Okay, no, it turns out Adamphy's properly turned. He was screen grabbing tweets of Catherine's at the weekend.
What? Hang on. Where? How do you see
It's
that?
gonna get in trouble.
On Digital Spy.
And saying what? About us not working on radio? Her not working on radio?
Someone mentioned the tweet about, the tweet she put up that she deleted. And someone's like, oh, she's deleted it. And then he's like, you can see the replies. And then posted a screen grab of her and Gemma.
Is he judging the replies, or is he just doing Autobot and going, here it is?
I think, all he says is you can see the replies, including some of her replies, which she hasn't deleted. So it was
fascinated.
But yeah, with the money thing, he said that you're not much better than Nigel.
Whoa!
Oh, that's
Them
not
fighting
bad.
words.
Nigel's much better than you, Ian.
Oh, Alistair, you've made my day. Oh yeah, he's Radamphy has tried to work out. Obviously, he wasted his TV money on drugs, but when he was clean, he earned a lot on the radio. Surely at least 100K most years.
It wasn't that much. It was a lot.
No.
I can tell you. Well, what I did with that was I paid off a huge chunk of the mortgage of the flat that I lived in London. None of your business. I don't have to justify it. But
No. I'm just
no,
reading
not to you,
what
I'm
you
talking
said.
to him. I paid off a huge chunk of my mortgage with that money. It wasn't 100,000. And that allowed me to then go up and buy a house. But I hate to break it to you, Richard, something you'll never experience. I got divorced.
He mentions that.
Yeah, that's really fucking expensive. That's
Along with the word frugility, which I should get him banned for life anyway.
What does frugility?
I'm not sure it's even a word.
Frugility. Being frugal. Oh, I tell you what, Richard, why don't you fuck off? Why don't you instead of criticizing, right? Why don't you achieve? Go and achieve. Go and do something. Yes, I've made terrible mistakes that have cost me a lot of money, but I put myself out there. Why don't you put yourself out there instead of going on to Digital Spy and £100,000? You should. Fuck you. Fuck you. How about
just
that, Richard?
He's posted on Digital Spy 12,610 times.
Fuck you. I have done about 12,000 hours of radio, of making stuff. So, Richard, those times I was nice to you when you came, I didn't actually enjoy your company. You made me uncomfortable. Okay? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Telling me how I should.
By the way, did I ever tell you that I did a movie review for Christo on LBC once, having never watched the movie?
Oh no, go on.
He was begging for callers to ring up and review. I think it was The Dark Knight, and I basically just Googled a review and rang up and read it to him.
Wowzers.
He thanked me and everything.
There you go. Well,
A little bit of trolley.
Good scam, Gary.
it's a good scam. How much did you get paid for that?
Oh no!
That's a terrible scam. That's a terrible scam. Isn't it funny? The judgment. I mean, if he wants to make a judgment on it, that's fine. But yeah, I made some money and I lost a lot of money. Some of it was through my own stupidity. Some of it, I paid off a big chunk of mortgage, and a lot of it was through getting divorced. Divorce is expensive, man. You have to give over half of your stuff away. No, give it away is the wrong phrase. You have you have entered into a contract, and that contract has broken down. So you have to make sure that it's fair. So fuck you, Richard. Go fucking make something yourself instead of judging. 12,000 things. Stop judging. Go and make something. Go and create. And I look forward to not reading this thread on Digital Spy, because I've not been on Digital Spy since June the 8th, 2020.
Did you go to the Gregorian Inn for your divorce?
No, I didn't. He's too expensive. I'm so must not tempt. Go fuck yourself to Richard Adamfi. Must not tweet
Not
it.
Gregorian.
Must not tweet it. Must not tweet it.
Tweet it and delete it.
Tweet, delete. Chewy, thank you for the sub. No, I'll tell you what we'll do.
Oh, Bodell's back.
I'm going to block him.
Sorry, I had to take a work call there.
That's okay. You missed it. It's got very, very spicy since you've gone.
I just joined it there, and you were talking about divorce and Richard can go fuck himself, and I'm assuming it wasn't the big G you were talking about.
No, not the big G. Not the big G. Although through a quirk of nature, he can actually F himself. No, just someone who used to be a big fan and then is going around slagging me off and saying I wasted all my money. I know I wasted all my money, but you have absolutely no idea what I earned when I was at Talk Radio. And also, when you don't work for a year and a half, that money gets used up quite quickly. Gets used up quite quickly. So, Richard, do you know what? Fuck you. Is what I'm saying. Fuck you. And I look forward to everybody on Digital Spy just eating up those little crumbs that I'm throwing on the floor to you. Here's some crumbs. Go and have some crumbs. Go and have those crumbs. And I'm going to smother the crumbs all over Richard Adamfi's sweaty body. And you can eat them off.
They're already going to be soggy biscuit crumbs.
Very, very soggy biscuit. I honestly haven't looked at Digital Spy since June the 8th last year. And oh, my life is so much better. You guys are the ones that count. You guys are the ones that count. And if you guys, I'm talking to people in this room and in Discord and in the thing, if you give me feedback, I'll take it on board because you're invested in the show. But the people on Digital Spy, get lost. Let's go back to
we're the sycophants.
Yeah, of course you are.
Just checking. Just checking. Redanfi isn't a Patreon, is he?
Who gives a shit? He can take his money and fuck off.
I'm sure he's not.
Hang on, Gaffer. Go on. Hang on.
Posted
Go on, Pete.
Someone posted a page length of like synonyms for sycophants, as to like talking about what we are, and
or fans. And listen, we've had, Pete, we've had fruity discussions before that if were made public, people could in no way justify you as a sycophant. We've had honest, conversations before. It's Just fans. And all right, listen, me and Catherine have fallen on, I guess they could be described as hard times. We're making something, we're putting a lot of work in, and we're getting something back. Yeah, compared to being in front of 15 million people and I'm a celebrity, it's nothing. Compared to, the between 25 to 65,000 listeners we got at Talk Radio, and it did vary that much. The numbers are nothing. I'd like to be earning more money, but we're making something, guys. We're making something. Instead of just, jerking off on a forum that is known for its toxicity, writing about me when we don't even look at it. We don't even look at it. Go and make something. Go make love. Go and make a model. Go and make a show. Go and make a podcast. Go and make someone happy. Go and do something.
Well said, Ian.
Richard Adanfi, you're dead to me. And if I ever see you at any of my performances ever again, I will come up to you and I will say to these words, I'm going to say, you're dead to me, boy. Get the hell out of here, you goddamn piece of trash. Let's get back to some Beswick, shall we? We're 35 minutes in. We've heard 90 seconds. Here we go.
No, it's not. It's Hazel.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Hazel.
Hello. Now I'm ringing up about...
By the way, here's the bit that they won't put in there. I honestly don't give a shit what people write in Digital Spy. And this is the bit that they won't go. Listen, I am disappointed in a damp fee. That's the way it goes. People change. But all of the other stuff is pantomime, is performance, is theatre, and you won't get that, and you won't hear this bit, or you won't believe this bit. But that's okay. My truth is my truth, and what other people think of me is none of my business. Here we go.
Now, me and my mum are going in for our test next Friday. Now, we want a few hints about it before we go in. And what my mum wants to know is, when you're going down like a road and it's got like a sign for 40 miles an hour, are you allowed to do that on your test?
Yes, providing it's safe to do so.
Well, we got told, we had this driving instructor, and we got told the limit that you were allowed to do was only 30.
No, you must drive according to the roads and the signs appertaining to those roads.
Yeah.
Was this a qualified driving instructor?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
Good Lord.
Yes. That's what, because, like, my mum, she drives the Maxi, she's got her own car. And she goes around Wigan and everything, doing 40 to 50 miles an hour. And when she...
Around Wigan? I can't think of anywhere in Wigan that you're entitled to do 50 miles an hour.
No, around Wigan, she does about 40, but around...
Does she have a driving instructor with her at this time?
No, she has my brother or...
Your brother?
Yeah.
Then I suggest that she stops driving around with your brother and gets herself a proper driving instructor.
Who had...
Well, she has been with a proper driver.
Who had driving lessons from their mum or dad?
No, my dad refused to do it.
Why was that?
I can't remember the reason. I just remember asking. I think I remember asking him to take me out before my test, before my exam, and he said, "No, do it on your." I don't think I can't remember the reason, but he refused.
My dad let me drive from Leicester up to Scunthorpe area when I was just a provisional licence holder, and he fell asleep during the journey.
Oh God, really? While you were having like a lesson from him?
Well, he said he was tired and did I want to drive?
Yeah.
I said, well, yeah, okay. And it was a Ford Capri as well.
Oh, geez, look at that.
So, I thought it was great. But I did look over and I was a bit worried when he was like asleep because I thought that was, probably not brilliant.
Wow, that's outrageous. I mean, that was the... hang on a second. I just got...
Are we muted?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
How do you spell earned? Is it T or ED?
ED.
EARNED.
Yeah.
Okay, I just tweeted him. I just tweeted him. This is what I wrote.
Oh,
Hey, man, why are you spying on us and making guesses about what I earn? Instead of being so judgmental, go and make something. You have absolutely no idea how much I earned or what happened to it. Bugger off. That should silence it now, right? That should now silence that should silence it. That's the end of that conversation, right?
I imagine that's the forum done. Yeah, they'll be happy with that.
shut that thread about your show. Just shut it down.
And then if
I
you
don't
look
know, every now and then it veers off, like it gets too bad and sort of breaks the rules, and they're able to delete a bunch. But yeah.
I remember arguing with Digital Spy, the people that run it, because I dared slag it off on Twitter. They said, no, our forums are great. I said, listen, most of your forums are great, but you do know that the radio forum is an absolute cesspit of bullying, innuendo, and belittling. No, it's not. We pride ourselves that our message boards are self-policed by the users. And I went, yeah. There's the problem. Your users are assholes. That's where the problem is.
I've not been able to get an account on there for years. I don't know what happened to my old account. As far as I know, I wasn't banned, but I've not been able to get into that one or register any new ones. It gets to the point. It says, "Okay, yeah, well, awaiting moderation," and then I'm just locked.
Do you think
out.
it's the IP address that you're linked to, or something? Maybe someone.
So I've moved house and stuff. I've you know.
Does anything good ever get written in those forums, or is it all just bad stuff?
I picked up a few television program requests from the TV threads. Like there are some people out there who will post useful information, but I must admit I've never seen anything particularly positive on the radio one.
There's a few people who in this show thread who are constructive. I mean, they're not glowing, they're not bumnicks.
Yeah,
but they're sort of, well, actually, what you're saying there is wrong because this and this. I may not like this aspect of the show, but there's people, there's like one or two people who are engaging in good faith, and the rest of them are just, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just sent another tweet. Let me know when you've screen grabbed this and shared it with your weasel friends on the poison that is @Digital Spy, so I can block you. So then not only is the conversation over, but I've politely given him a moment.
I've just noticed that that not him, but someone else has defamed myself and Alistair.
What?
Really?
A little bit further up, someone posted when you got your Milton Keynes offer, somebody put, "Oh, great!" and special guests Gatford and Alistair.
Yeah,
Smiley
I'd be honoured to have you guys on. You've both lived lives I can only imagine, and had journeys that interest me and would interest other people. Yeah, okay. And
this is why I think several of the mods read the forum, and this is why we never tell you what's on the forum.
Oh, and I'm glad you don't. And I am really, really glad you don't. I know there was a lot of personal stuff about Catherine and stuff on there, and I'm glad you don't, because it doesn't really concern me. And honestly, they won't hear this. I'm finding this very amusing, and I'm making myself chuckle with these tweets that are throwing a tiny little bit of lighter fluid onto a very small fire, but it's making me chuckle quite a lot. Quite a lot. Right. Roscoe, thank you for the sub, but they won't hear this laughter. They'll go, "Yeah, he had a breakdown on stream today. It was embarrassing." Right, what's on the tapes? You're subscribed, you bumlet.
Yeah, I loaded up the screen and it gave me an ad, and I was like, "Oh, fucking, and I realised my Prime had lapsed.
Here's what we're going to do. When Catherine is doing her civic and moral duty next week, we're going to do a late night stream, right? Proper late night one. And it's going to be for the mums and for the dads. It's going to be a little bit blue. We are, we're 7 away from today's subscriber goal. It's going to be full of effing and jeffing. I mean, they kind of have today anyway. But we
Alfred's going to have his shorts on.
Yes. We're going to have a proper, I know what, let's find someone who we used to like, and has fallen on slightly hard times, and then let's just fucking take the piss out of them. That's what we'll do. We'll find someone that we used to like, and they're now not working as much, or they're in reduced circumstances, and we'll spend the whole show slagging them off. That sounds like fun, right? It must be fun, because that's what all of those assholes on that forum are doing, right?
Can I nominate Rob Bonet? No,
I was thinking about him the other day. I like Rob a lot.
no, he's doing
very
he
well.
still listens occasionally.
Sometimes he went too far for me. That was my thing. Sometimes he'd go a bit too far, and I just think. But I liked him. I liked him a lot. I thought he was a very, very nice guy. Should we listen to some flipping? We've listened to 2.5 minutes in the last 45 minutes. So
Ian, who taught you to drive, by the way?
Oh, thank you. I had a driving instructor. It was a lovely little scam where it was BSM, but if you booked the lessons in Newcastle and then transferred it to Slough, it was cheaper. It was cheaper up north. So my lessons, instead of costing, and get this, kids, instead of being like 17, 18 pounds an hour, they were 14 pounds an hour. So I had a lovely driving instructor, and my mum would take me out to drive on the trading estate.
Brilliant.
It's very much the same here.
Drive on the set of Lovejoy.
Yes, you know, my dad worked on Lovejoy. Anyway, yes, Paul.
I was just going to say, my dad would be, I think we could describe him as frugal. There's that word again. So
Yes.
I think he took me out in like industrial estates for, the first few lessons, just so that we weren't wasting money, trying to learn the bite of the clutch and how to get the car going. So once I was able to make the car move, then he started to get me lessons. I'm surprised you were paying about 14 or 17 pounds. I think we're similar ages, and I remember my lessons were £8 a touch.
Ooh, well, that was different.
And the amount of lessons, it was 5 lessons, and the guy had put me in for the test. But then by the time you wait for the test, it was probably about another 3. I see kids nowadays, and they're getting 20, 30 lessons, and they cost a fortune. It's very, very expensive nowadays.
Yeah.
I've just checked. I was paying 17 2 years ago. £17.
17.
£17 a lesson. When I was in South, when I was
Who
in.
was teaching you? Someone who couldn't see? That's redonkulously cheap.
It was a block deal, but it was 10 lessons at £17 a lesson.
Hang on.
Well,
And hang on, I'm just texting Catherine. Block Redamphy on Twitter. There's some story. I'll let you know about it. I'm streaming, but it's very sweary. She's replied, "Oh," I put, "Yeah, long-time fan who has turned and takes screen grabs of your tweets and posts on Digital Spy."
Oh, Redamphy's blocked me.
Oh!
Not just now, but he blocked me years ago, apparently.
Oh.
So
How do you know it was done years ago?
That's a good point. I don't know that, but then to be fair, I don't think he could have blocked me just now, could he?
Hey, is my sister in the chat? Someone is talking to my sister. Oh, yes, she is. £10 for your lessons. Hello, Joe. I remember my sister, and you'll correct me if I've got this wrong, Joe, was having a driving lesson. My dad was still around when she had a driving lesson, and he was not a violent man, but he had a kind of a temper, and he would kind of take a grudge for not much reason, and would get very stroppy or very silent. And my sister had a driving lesson with him, and I think they saw someone hit a dog. This is how I remember it. They hit a dog, and my sister got very upset, which I still would to this very day. And he kind of had a go at her, and like, well, listen, that stuff's going to happen. You just got to suck it up. And they came back home, and I remember she went upstairs upset, and he kind of stormed out into the garden upset, and it was very tense, very tense. But my sister's got no recollection of this. And there's an interesting thing. It's funny the things that one remembers that seem so important. And you can tell them to the person that was in it, and they go, "Oh, I don't remember that. I've got," and either it didn't happen. Hey, Catherine, either it didn't happen the way the person telling it remembered, or the person that was in it just it wasn't important to them. It had no relevance. Catherine, we're listening to some Alan Beswick. We've been going for 48 minutes. We've listened to 2 minutes and 30 of Alan Beswick. My sister says you remember loads of things I've clearly managed to forget. Well, we're listening
Plus
to...
my,
Go on, Paul.
sorry. I was going to say, plus my driving instructor chain smoked for the whole hour every time. But that's probably just the stresses of the job, I would imagine.
Well, we know, and Catherine has told this story before, so I'm not breaking any confidence. She was propositioned by her driving instructor.
Right.
And she was like a kid. She was 17, 18, and this dirty old man was something like, well, how much, would you like a discount? It was that kind of vibe, wasn't it? Horrible, horrible, horrible. Imagine doing that to anyone. But Catherine, what you've missed, the 49 minutes, and for those who are just coming in, was it Robin Asquith? No, Robin's a gentleman. For those of you just coming in, the whole show has been slagging off Digital Spy and realising that one of my former fans is now screen grabbing Catherine Boyle's tweets and sharing them on Digital Spy and making judgments about what happened to my money. And saying I should have been more frugal and telling me what I should have done with my money and where I making guesses as to how much I earned. And it's just been making fucking outrageous claims. So I've tweeted him. When I think he's seen it, I will block that piece of trash. So it's been some show. Shall we listen to some Beswick, guys?
Yes.
Here we go.
Please.
Oh.
Is she going to take her test with the driving instructor and his vehicle, or is she going to do it in her own little maxi?
Her own car, yeah.
Then the chances of her failing are greater.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, why is that?
Because the people that learn from experience learn the wrong way to drive, most usually.
Yeah.
The best way to pass your driving test and the best way to learn to drive for the future is to do it with a Department of Transport approved driving instructor.
Oh, Catherine, it was two different things.
And it isn't just a bit better.
But he took your screen grab of your tweet about you realise you're never going to work in radio and copied all of the responses to it and then posted it on Digital Spy and just kind of threw it at the wolves and went, here, have this. Anyway.
It's 5 times better than learning off a friend, a colleague, or some other prat that doesn't know.
Yes. Now, I've heard, when you're on your driving test, exactly and I've heard that people are failing the test for going slow. Now, what's the slowest, you can do?
Well,
what's the slowest you can do on your driving test? Well, there's a question.
That you don't.
Who's is someone masturbating? What's going on? Paul, what are you up to? It sounds like you're slurping on something.
No, I was actually packing a sports bag. Sorry about that.
Are you with us, or are
yes,
you
I am. I'm totally with you. I've got my earpods in. Don't worry.
I don't think you can be with us if you're a sportsman. We do not encourage sportsmen. Catherine says grapefruit. For those of you who know that, that's the grapefruit noise. It's to do with... Oh, by the way, Catherine, next week when you're in court, we're going to have a late night show for the dads. It's going to be very blue. Very blue.
Going slow.
Sorry, is Catherine jury duty?
Jury duty, yes.
Oh, sorry. I missed that part. I apologise.
Oh, you didn't listen to today's show?
I had to go because I had other meetings, but someone catch it. I've downloaded the podcast, don't worry.
Well, you haven't because... Well, you haven't because... No. Today's show isn't up as a podcast.
Okay. So I will listen back via the YouTube link that is still active of the 6 you sent out.
No.
So hashtag demod Gatford then.
Two things. Firstly, you lied. You said you downloaded it. Secondly, it won't be in the link in the schedule email. Do you know why?
No, but you've sent out 2 other links that I've still got that I assume one of will work.
Okie dokie. He's turned already, ladies and gentlemen. You are what we now call a Redamphy.
No, oh my word.
And I tweeted him, Catherine. I tweeted him. So so that will end well. I've tweeted him saying, why don't you get stuff? Go and copy this and put this on the goddamn digital spy. Here we go.
Be worse, Gap, but it
There
used to be
are
called
a number
Gadget,
of things on the failure slip which you can be failed for. I think there are 20 of them. There might be 24. It may be totally different altogether now. But
it's either 20, 24, or a completely different number. It's one of those three options.
Of them is not progressing, not driving to suit varying road and traffic conditions. So, of course, if you're on an open road and you drive along at 16 mile an hour, you're not making normal progress. You have to follow the flow of traffic without breaking the speed limit. In other words, they don't want you cluttering up the road, but they don't want you breaking the...
I failed my 125cc bike test because I was going too slow. And I was like, what? And it turned out that the speedometer on a lot of these old scooters is way off. So I was doing 50, and he said, no, you were doing 40 on the thing. I was thinking, oh, shit. And so the next time I did it, I had to do 60 in a 50, but really I was doing 50. And so, I mean, it's not really worth stopping you should have shut up.
So if it's a 30 mile an hour road, then you drive at 30 mile an hour. But also, you get some haste in the way you pull away. You don't take, 5 miles to get into fourth gear.
Yes.
Okay? But these are really questions that you should be putting to a driving instructor.
Yes. Well, look, we've asked him all this, and he's just blind a bit. Like he's given us the wrong questions.
I think you should ask him one other question, and that is, can I see your identification certificate?
Yeah.
And he should have an identification certificate, a license, issued by the Department of Transport.
This is getting a little bit Nazi Germany, right?
He used to be a driving instructor or something, because he seems very knowledgeable about this.
He didn't. It's one of the few things. We know that he's worked at Citizens Advice. We know that he is a member of CND. He has said that he's a socialist, and I couldn't find the clip, but he has since denied that he said that. We know he was a milkman for a day, a bus driver, and he was in the army and went to Northern Ireland. So we know all of these things.
I love his understated sarcasm. It shouldn't take you 5 miles to get into fourth gear.
I think he's projecting on that morning's route into work.
Yes, exactly.
And inside has his photograph, his signature, his address, and his details. And I suggest you ask him for that.
Logical hell. Alan is demonstrating perfectly why the theory test was brought in. We never had it in our day. We would get shown 3 or 4 road signs in the car park after you'd parked up. What's this, and this? And you might, maybe I got asked a stopping distance. And that was it. And my friends met me. It was during school. You were allowed out of school to do your driving test. And they pulled up in the car park in their school uniform, saw that I'd passed, and we went to the Printer's Devil and got pissed during school, and then went to school.
You must have been one of the last years that didn't do it, because I did my driving test at 17, and I had to do a theory.
Well,
and I'm only about a year and a half younger than you.
What year? Tell me what year that was.
So that would have been 1991.
Oh, okay. Well, my driving test was the same year that Freddie Mercury died, which I think was 1990.
That was 1990, because I was in the lower sixth. And I remember exactly where I was.
The theory came in later. I think you're wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I definitely took a theory test.
Yeah, I did my test in 1991, and like Ian said, it was the practical driving test, and then 3 or 4 questions plucked out of a book.
What
and that
do
was
you
it.
consider, Gary, to be a theory test? Tell me, was it in the car or in a room?
No, it was in a room. I had to go to a test centre in Vauxhall. And I had to read a bit. You got given the thing, you bought your book, and you had to go in and you had to answer multiple choice questions like stopping distances and signs and road signals and things like that.
Was that part of your driving test, or was that just like a fun thing that your mum signed you up for?
It's a day out for the
Are
family.
you sure you weren't on the road safety team at school and you had to go? I was on the road safety team twice, captained it to the final twice. Everyone in the chat is saying no. No, 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 no.
Okay.
1996.
Well.
No,
Did I?
no,
I,
no.
I
You
definitely
can't.
did it.
Gatford, you
so
could. I'm not going to allow you to question it. 1996. Freddie died 92.
Gary, maybe you've got the advanced driving qualification without realising.
Maybe, yeah. I actually can't drive. I failed the test. So.
All right.
Okay, it wasn't. I didn't pass my test the year that Freddie died. I was in Spender the year that Freddie died.
Ah.
I was in Spender. Okay, November 1991 he died, not 92, Stewpot James. Excuse me. Let's please.
I suggest you report it to the nearest Department of Transport. Okay?
Yes, well, I've tried loads, like, that was my third one.
Then I think you need to consider you rather than the instructors. You're one of those people that believes you're not getting it right, it must be the instructor's fault. Yeah. Allow me to tell you that if you've had 3, then the chances are it's your fault.
Yes.
All right?
Is this Maureen from driving school?
Okay.
Ta-ra.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll do, Paul.
I'll do, Paul. That's for you, Mr. Bodell. Here we go.
I'll do.
Hello, Alan.
I always get very excited when I'm listening to Modern Beswick and he goes, "I'll do Ian," and I think, "Shit, am I on the phone?" And then someone else speaks, and I can breathe a sigh of relief.
You said there is.
A couple of nights ago, I wasn't on.
Well, a few nights ago.
A few nights ago, I wasn't on.
Well, how many nights ago was it?
I was on Monday, which was 4 nights ago, and I was on last night, which is 1 night.
Monday then. You said
Fine.
that there is nothing more depressing. If there's anything more depressing than a Tory, it is a socialist.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I consider myself as a socialist, Alan. And
Which is probably why you sound so bloody boring.
Oh, bloody hell. Listen, Alan.
I've listened.
Well, Alan, listen, I'm a socialist and I believe... when I talk to people, I always try to give my socialist views to people.
Fine, that's what's boring about them.
Well, I only everything I say I consider is right.
But that's irrelevant. Paul, I didn't say you were wrong. I said you were depressing.
Do you consider, have I said to you, Alan, that...
Paul, what I said was not that socialists are wrong, but they are boring.
Oh, yeah.
Being right doesn't stop you being boring.
Do you consider socialists have some good views?
I consider all people have some good views.
What do you consider as a bad view of the socialist then? What?
I didn't say they have bad views. Do you not understand the language?
Yes, I do understand.
You do understand the language.
Listen.
So when
This is what Beswick does great. Is now he's in control. He's stood back, let the fella have a few swings, and he's just kind of ducked back. Now he's going in for the kill.
You quoted me, remember, that there's only one thing more boring than a Tory, and that's a socialist.
Yeah.
That it has nothing to do with their views, boredom, surely. Or do you actually don't understand what the word means, perhaps?
Surely.
You see, I find this conversation with you totally boring. It isn't providing me with any entertainment at all.
How could I enlighten the conversation then, Alan?
You could lighten it. Whether you could enlighten a conversation, I think is probably impossible. Enlighten means to impart information, and whether you could give information to a conversation, which is an intangible, I doubt.
How could I enlighten the conversation?
Feel free.
Feel free.
Well, I'd like to talk about... Well, let's see.
Well, there you are. Totally and utterly boring. Good night.
Jim says there's a tiny touch of Hyacinth Bouquet about his voice and Vader's inhaler, and you're absolutely right. Mum trying to be posh on the phone vibes. Mum's posh voices, and we're all of an age as well. I would imagine that if you ever heard your mums sing, which is a rarity, but I bet my mum certainly did, la-di-da-di-da, it was that very high, la-di-da-di-da-di-da kind of voice. Am I right, guys?
But I hear my mum sing in church most weeks, and you're quite right.
La di da di da. It's a great voice. I would buy an album of mums sing the pop hits. La di da di da. I was going to sing
I'm like that bloke from Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Oh, Tiny Tim. Now, if you want a good book, read the book on Tiny Tim. It's a great book. Here we go.
Alan.
Oh, hello, Alan. Good evening. You had a chap on a bit earlier on tonight who claimed that he'd been to school with you. Do you remember the fella?
I remember him, yes.
This guy sounds like, and it's not. And it gets me so angry. See, right, you'll know this, Pete. Yeah, Alan. I make philosophy films, and you know, I studied the Beatles, and I'm gonna be my mate has kind of bullied me into doing a radio show, and I wondered if you could give me some tips on comedy. Do you know that? You know that guy, Pete? Oh, Pete's gone. Pete's disappeared. Pete's had enough.
I was just going to tell you, Pete's gone.
Good for him. It's this guy who phones up Beswick, and he's so boring. He lies about the Beatles. And every time I hear him, I have to get out, sit up in bed, and go back into the Alan Beswick chat on the Discord because he lies about the Beatles. But also, he wants to be a radio presenter. Oh God! And he's got like a show on, like, maybe it's a hospital radio or like a community radio. Oh God! If anyone knows, I would love to hear that show. I would love to hear that show. I wonder if he squanders his money away. I would love to.
Well,
hear
if he's in radio, he most likely had a cocaine addiction. So
of course
I mean,
he does.
Yeah,
and he earns about £100,000 a year at least. Twat.
That's right.
Well, I'll go along with that. It was rotten, and I think it's about time the silly bastard come and let me out this cupboard.
Oh, we missed a funny. Hang on, how can I go back on this? Here we go.
You had a chap on a bit earlier on tonight who claimed that he'd been to school with you. Do you remember the fella?
Oh, God.
I remember him, yes. He was wrong, but I remember him.
Well, I'll go along with that. He was rotten, and I think it's about time the silly bastard come and let me out this cupboard.
Okay, so he made a comment about Alan being... He made a comment about Alan being locked in the cupboard. Here we go.
Knockout. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Bye-bye.
That's wonderful.
Catherine, was your mum doing a voice?
How do, Tim?
Hello, Alan.
Yes.
How do, mate? Alan, while I listen to your show, you seem to come up with words that I have no recognition of.
That's because you're a prat.
No, Alan, words such as balderdash and ignoramus. Can you tell me what these...
Ignoramus! He said ignoramus. Wow.
No, it isn't ignoramus. I think that's rather lower down. Ignoramus. An ignoramus is, well, somebody called Tim that sounds like a prat. Balderdash.
Pete doesn't know the caller I'm talking about. You're dead to me, Pete.
Is a collection of opinions that are not sensible.
What about dross?
Dross
Are you
is...
describing Albion Market as this?
Yes, dross is a word of the vernacular, and it means garbage, rubbish.
Superb. I'll do me, mate.
Very good.
Okay.
Yes, it's nice to pass on a little education, even to those that have none already. Hello, Sergio.
Good day, Alan. I rang you a couple of weeks ago on bodybuilding race, and you told me to go away and carry a heavy box race. I just wanted to say thank you. You've done me wonders.
Good. I'll go and carry another one, preferably this time in your mouth.
Oh, thanks, Al. Great.
Pleasure. How do? It's nice to pass a little happiness, isn't it? Hello, Stuart. Stuart, you're on now, you cretin. The trouble is, you're not on now, but by the time you hear it on the radio, you'll realise what a prat you are. Hello, Roy.
Hello.
Well?
I want to talk about all the rich people who do nothing in their life and just sit on the bums all day. And
what would you like them to sit on?
Well, sit on chairs.
But their bums are on the chairs, presumably.
Yeah, but they don't do anything for a living, though, do they?
I see. Well, what do you mean? They don't do anything?
Stock market all day, don't they?
And that's not work to you?
No, well, they just sign little forms and all that. We're working
But
all
signing
day.
little forms can be work.
Yeah, it's only with the pen though, isn't it?
Yes, it is work with a pen, but that applies also to writers, to journalists, and to a certain extent, me. I don't actually go out and dig holes, but I still consider what I do to be work. I concede that it isn't by any means hard work, but it's work.
Yeah, but they can make millions over nothing, though, can't they?
But that isn't... The rate of pay you receive doesn't decide whether you are working or not. It's what you are doing. Whether you are toiling is what decides whether you're working or not, surely.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I mean, why don't you just come to terms with the fact, Roy, that you're just green with envy?
No, but I work hard for a living.
And you would... What do you do?
I make video cabinets.
You make video cabinets?
Yeah.
Not anymore, he doesn't.
He makes... That's cabinets. Well, we would call that like a TV cabinet, right?
Yeah, the things that you would put the video in that go under your telly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Also, can I just ask you a pause? Hold on.
Yeah.
Beswick is much quicker with the callers then. I would have thought he would have got more annoyed and cut them off over time. He now spends longer listening to people now.
I think here it seems to be an almost limitless number of callers. Now you can, if he plays a lot of songs, he ain't got no callers, and if he gives out the phone number a lot, he ain't got no callers. And if he's carrying on quite a boring conversation, he ain't got no callers. And here I've never heard him suggest that they are running short of callers. I think it's just boom, boom. This is before social media. So this is how people get to say stuff. Let's dive back in, guys.
You would still make video cabinets?
No.
What would you do?
Well, just to spend all my money and go away.
Would you?
Because I wouldn't be.
Well, no, you won't be. You're not intelligent enough. You wouldn't like to be?
No.
Well, you carry on sawing wood.
I'd rather work for it, though.
Well, what I suggest you do, Roy, is every time you feel you're a bit too rich, you send your money to me. It won't embarrass me at all. I'm perfectly happy to be rich. Goodbye.
Oh.
You keep sawing wood, kid. Hello, Damien. Damien appears not to have the ability of speech. Still appears not to have the ability of speech. Rather fear that he's not very good at pressing buttons either. Hello, Gordon.
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
Yeah, I shoot very often at the side of my house, and it usually causes a big bang. If any neighbours were to complain, what could be done?
Hopefully you'd be thrown into prison for 20 years, but I don't think that is what can be done. But what is it you are shooting?
Yeah, it's an air rifle.
An air rifle? There are rules and regulations about where you can use an air rifle, and you'll need to find out what those are.
Yeah. Well, I have found out, and it is very safe. I've got loads of padding up and all that.
I'm not interested in that. What I want to know, there are certain rules about where you can use an air rifle. Do you know what those rules are?
It's got to be about 50 yards away from a road.
Is it 50 yards away from a road?
Something like that, yeah.
What do you mean, something that it either is or it isn't? If it's 49 yards away from it, you think it is, you haven't checked, you're not sure?
No.
Well, do you not think it'd be a good idea to check?
Yeah.
Right, well, when you've read all the rules appertaining to use of firearms or pop guns, when you've established all that, obey them, and your neighbours won't be able to do anything. All right?
Yeah.
It's like double standard from Beswick there, where he didn't know the number of things that you needed not to pass a driving test.
It doesn't matter.
And
He is not. No, it doesn't matter because this guy said he knows the rules. I know the rules. I know the rules. Well, what are they? Well, I think it's about 50. Well, do you know the rules or not? Yeah. Beswick didn't say he knew the rules about the driving test.
Certainly handed out the advice like he thought he knew, though.
He's silenced.
I agree on your command.
We cannot hear you now. We cannot hear you.
Because you shouldn't be allowed a gun.
Yeah.
How do Dave?
Hello, Alan.
What do you want?
How are you? All right.
Very well.
Well, I'm about to buy a bed, Alan. I've had one for 15 years, and I'm now about to buy a new one. I wouldn't even have had advice on that.
Advice on buying a bed? No.
Have you not?
None whatsoever.
Oh. Yeah, have you got a bed?
Yes.
You sleep well?
When I get home, yes.
What kind is it?
I've no idea. Yes, I have. Oh, hang on. It came from Habitat.
Oh.
And I don't like it much.
Oh.
I have a sheet of wood under it because I'd prefer. I like a
You've got
hard
a
bed.
bad back, have you?
No, but I don't want to get one.
Oh. So you prefer a hard bed rather than a soft bed?
Yes.
A deer bed rather than a cheap bed?
I'm not bothered. I quite honestly would be happy to sleep on a few floorboards nailed together.
Oh, so really you can't give me any advice one way or the other?
I actually said that at the early stage of this conversation.
Yeah. Okay, Alan.
All right. Ta-ra.
Ta-da.
I'll do Jim. Jeff, sorry.
Hello, Al.
Hello.
I'd like to talk about these dogs who work for the police. You know, sniff out the drugs.
Yes.
Well, I believe that the actual dogs are drugged. You know, to sniff out the drugs like the heroin.
What do you mean they're drugged?
Well, beforehand, like, they're addicted to the drug. You know, so when they go to sniff out the drug, they sort of.
Why do you believe that? Apart from the fact that you're obviously an idiot.
I'm not an idiot, you fool.
Well, all the evidence we've got so far convinces me that you are, but would you like to convince me that you're not? Why do you believe that the dogs that are used by the police as drug sniffers are drug...
Oh, I can't play the clip of Big Bottles, No Tops on because I haven't got that computer plugged in because it crackles. Apologies.
addicts?
Well, how can they tell that they're drugs?
Oh, I see. It is merely your inability to understand the dog's excellent perception and excellent sense of smell that makes you think that.
I mean, it's you know, do you see what that program where...
Excuse me, Jeff.
Danny was on?
Jeff, can you recognise the smell of roast beef in the oven?
Yes, I can.
Can you recognise the smell of fresh baked bread?
Yes, I can.
You can. Can you recognise the smell of sweat?
Yeah, but I cannot.
Then are you...
I cannot recognise the smell of heroin.
Well, you could recognise it if you'd smelt it.
I couldn't, because it's not... it's probably not a smell like...
If your sense of smell was adequate, you could. It isn't adequate because you're a human being. I take a chance on saying that, but I'm happy to believe that you are. Neither could I.
Oh, that was a bit...
Dogs...
Well, but he hasn't done a shot for a while, so it makes sense that he's doing a shot now.
Sense of smell is somewhat better than that of the human being.
Yeah, but, I mean...
Have you ever heard of a bloodhound?
Yes.
Have you ever become aware throughout your life that bloodhounds are sometimes used to actually track the scent of a man?
Yeah.
Could you do it?
No.
Do you think bloodhounds are actually addicted to the smell of that man?
No, that's Catherine.
That they might never actually have smelt before?
No.
No. Then do you now concede that it is possible for a dog to recognise a smell?
No, I certainly don't.
Then, Jeff, you're a pillock.
And so are you pill.
So are you pillock. Love it.
Hello, Dan.
Hi, Alan. I'm phoning to... We're all curious about your walk-on part on Brookside, and we want to know, was it the latest picket line you were on? Or what?
No, it wasn't. It was ages ago. The one at the chemical factory, ages ago.
Yeah, I see. You weren't... what about the taxi part you had?
That was... You remember the part of Brookside, or the series of Brookside when they had the siege?
Yeah.
And that was just after the siege.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And so also was the journalist.
Yeah.
I think it was on Brookside.
Yeah, he was an extra. He was on Brookside.
Oh, right.
He was on something else, and he was on Albion Market until he slagged off Albion Market on the show, and apparently the papers made a story of it. Now, I'm just looking on YouTube for Alan Beswick, and there's loads. There's loads. There's Barry Grant from Brookside doing a song. Okay. There's loads of Beswick, right, from the radio. But there's also Alan Beswick live at The Edge, the 15th of November, 2019. And also Alan Beswick selling the big issue for...
I do. I'm Alan Beswick from the BBC.
Hang on, you can't hear this, guys, but just bear with... Or maybe... I know you probably can't, but just bear with me.
BBC in the Northwest, selling the big issue for 1 hour. Probably the hardest job I've ever done in my life, to be honest. You have to actually speak to people in the street and ask them to buy something from you. It's not really my cup of tea. But it's interesting, because you see what the vendors, the people who do this...
I know you can hear. I'm talking about the lovely people in the Discord. All right, the sound has now gone. Hang on a second. Computers. Hang on a minute. Bear with me. Let's go back a bit. Hang on.
1 hour, probably the hardest job.
Oh, I honestly, this bloody thing, I do not know.
It's interesting, because you see what the vendors, the people who do...
I do not know what is wrong with this thing. I need to reset everything. And boy, oh boy, that's going to be a miserable day when I do that.
Man.
No!
Do this all the time, almost as a living. The difficulty there is in doing it. And it just sort of reminds you of the driving force they must have to do this. You know, okay, it's caused by the difficulties in their life, the lack of secure housing and all of that, and that gets them to do it. But it takes some neck. It's all right for me. There are cameras around, and you know, it's just a game for me in that sense. But for them, this is their daily grind. This is every day on these streets. It's also bloody cold. But there are people.
Okay, well that's that. But there's also Alan Beswick live at the edge. Now, is this video?
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically.
Oh, it's just audio. Hang on.
Hold on, I can put it on the telly.
So he starts his live show. How do?
How do?
Work out how to make this bottle of water work.
Take it to Liverpool.
Take it to Liverpool, yeah. I don't want to give it away. Hey, there we are. Got it.
Well, I'm listening to that in my leisure. In my goddamn leisure. My stream deck is closed. Bear with me, caller.
Not the greatest of recordings.
It is not a great recording. It is not a great recording. Right. Let's get back. Ian, long-time fan. Have you ever looked into doing scam baiting? You'd be great at... Yeah, I did it years ago before it was popular. Did it years and years ago. Look up
what
Ian
was that
Lee.
guy's name?
Rooney Jeep. Look up Rooney Jeep. Look up Rooney Jeep. I did it before anyone else did. I was the first person to ever do it, and I was the best at it. And then everyone copied me, and that James Veitch did, didn't he? James Veitch, and then he got accused of rape, which was anyway. Let's not go off on that tangent. Back a little bit more Beswick.
Here's Tara. It's Dan, the cheerful man. How do, Annie?
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I talked to you last week.
Good, you're talking to me this week. What do you want?
Well, I said last week I was 61 and I was a new listener. You said I wasn't that new. But what I was thinking about, what I want to talk to you about, is accents. Can you tell me how long you've been at Radio Lancashire and how long a distance you was at Radio Metro?
Right, well, I'm not at Radio Lancashire. I'm at Red Rose.
Twitcher says, do it now then. No, you can't fucking do it now. I'm busy.
Rose Radio.
Yes.
Well, Radio Lancashire is the BBC equivalent.
Yes, I know.
Right. So I'm at Red Rose Radio, and I've been there since it started on the 5th of October, 1982.
Oh.
3 years ago. Just over 3 years ago. And it's immediately prior to that I was at Metro Radio in Newcastle upon Tyne, where I was for about 8 months.
Yes. And I have a daughter who lives in Sunderland, and she used to listen to you.
Poor girl.
Oh.
I like Sunderland. It's all right. The Sunderland Empire's a good theatre.
She's a beautiful club there.
Is she?
Yes.
My word, she never give me any bookings.
one of these lovely places, you know.
I don't like it when he's nice to old ladies. I've said it.
Oh, I love going up there.
Yeah, it's a nice place, Sunday. I'm going up to Newcastle on Sunday.
Are you?
Aye.
Oh, could you really?
See a few faces.
No, the people up there, aren't they nice?
Yes, they are nice. They're great people.
And I find that when I go up there, they make me so welcome, you know, all that.
Do they?
And then the thing I like about them, I know, is where they talk about the wife. It isn't the wife, it's our lass.
Were lass. Aye,
Yeah.
were lass.
Yeah,
Well, that happens all over the eastern side, because they talk about our lass in Yorkshire as well. It's a nice term. It's better than the wife. I hate that term.
Oh, I think it's horrible, isn't it? Yeah.
My wife is just about acceptable, but the wife, I'll rephrase that. My wife is wonderful, but the term my wife is acceptable.
My wife?
Yeah.
Whereas the wife, I think, is sexist and awful.
Well, it is, yes. And I've listened to you, well, you know, the nights that you have been on.
Catherine says, I'd love it if she was on the long con and dropped a nice big C-bomb out of nowhere. Yes, it would be wonderful.
Okay, I'm a new listener.
Good. Well, welcome, Annie. Welcome. In the meantime, go and get your gun.
You what?
Your gun, Annie, get your gun. Didn't you see the film?
I could do you going for some of these here, what you have on.
Hey, I know you don't mean it. All right, Annie. Nice to talk to you anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Ta-ra now. Ta-ra. That's Annie who thinks I'm on Radio Lancashire. Hello, Connie.
Hello?
Colin, sorry.
Yeah, I'll do, Alan.
Can't hear you. You'll have to talk louder, perhaps even shout.
Right, I'll do, Alan. You hear me?
Not very well, no. You'd like to ring us back on Preston 561,000, see if we can get a better line. Sorry about that. I'll do to Jeanette.
Oh, it's Janet Allen.
All right, Janet.
Yeah, well, I'm phoning about, you know, Scousers are always getting the blame for everything.
Well, they don't get the blame for everything.
Well, not everything, but, like, when Manchester United played Liverpool in Manchester, the houses got smashed up and everything. And yet half of them were Mancunians, because, like, me and my friend lived near the ground where they were playing. I knew quite a few of them anyway, right? And then on the telly and everything about drugs and all that lot, they're always coming out saying it's them near enough all the time. And they've just got the same amount of things in, like, Manchester and London and everything.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. It just gets on my nerves, you know what I mean? Because, like, the same things go on in Manchester all the time and London and that as they do in Liverpool.
I agree wholeheartedly, Janet. Thank you for calling. All right. Ta-ra. I'll do Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. I'll do Craig.
Hello, Mr. Beswick. I'd like to know what you call bad language, profanities. Because if I called you an illegitimate,
Here we go.
but a scouser came on later and called you the other word, you cut him off. Why is this?
I don't even know what you're talking about, Pratt.
Well, you know, when you cut people off for using profanities, you know, wrong meaning of the word, if I called you an illegitimate person, and they called you B, you know, a B-A-S-T, I don't really spell it.
Yes, we know.
A B-A-S-T.
What the word is.
Yeah.
The word's bastard.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you cut them off.
Yes.
In the English dictionary, it has both meanings of the word.
Indeed it does. However, a profanity is only a profanity if used in a profane way.
Not true.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
The word bastard is a perfectly acceptable word. Perfectly acceptable. However, if somebody says to me that I am a bastard, they don't mean I am an illegitimate person. They mean they don't like me. And they're perfectly entitled to not like me. And they're perfectly entitled to allege that I'm an illegitimate person. But if all they intend to do is to use the word away from its proper usage and into its profane usage, then I'm not prepared to listen to it. Nor, more importantly, prepared to inflict it upon other people listening to this programme. To be perfectly honest, I don't give a toss what they call me. I get money off them, so I don't care.
Yeah, and another point...
We are 5 minutes away from the end of this show. We're gonna get to the end of this show, and then I'm going to end it because we'll finish a little bit early. I'm feeling a little bit nauseous again, but we're 5 minutes away. So here we go. From the end of this, there is another hour of this particular show.
Weeks ago, you said on the radio you didn't want people What's the word?
I don't know. Perhaps you'd like to think of it.
It'll come to...
Well, you haven't got long.
You said that you don't want people coming on and using profanities. The actual word you said was you don't want people coming on the airways and violating the airways using profanities. Do you not think that's a bit wrong in the English use? Because profanities does mean violate. Wrong uses of words, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So could you not use something else just to satisfy me?
I have no desire to satisfy you. No desire whatsoever. I think you're a jumped-up little nothing. Why should I bother trying to satisfy
Do
you?
you not think it's just a bit wrong?
A bit wrong or a lot wrong? Wrong is an absolute. A thing is either right or wrong. You cannot be wrong by degree. There, see? Just taught you something about the English language. Did you good, didn't it, Craig?
I've been sat here with my dictionary all night reading.
Have you indeed? Then you should have looked up the word wrong. Good night.
Good night.
It must be awful to be a child in this day and age. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
Listen, I've decided after a long time to better myself. And I was wondering, could you tell me where I can get elocution lessons around the Merseyside area? I'm serious.
Try the Yellow Pages.
Yellow Pages?
Yes. No, not Yellow Pages. Yellow Pages.
Oh, yellow.
We must start as we mean to go on.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, you know, this Warrington accent. Yours is a Warrington accent, isn't it?
There's some Warrington in there. It isn't a pure Warrington accent,
Yeah.
if there is such a thing. I've been about too much.
I'm rather partial to it. But I think I'd like to be able to talk with the Warrington accent.
Well, you'll have to go and live there for 15 years or something like I did.
Yeah, I'm desperate to do something about this sound I've got, though, you know.
Well,
It's embarrassing.
Well, it may well be embarrassing to you. It's a perfectly acceptable sound to me.
God bless you, son.
It's a pleasure.
God bless you. Ta-ra, lad.
That'll do. To who? Murray.
Oh, did you hear that? He was getting the name in his ear. Obviously, not
Yeah.
a screen. Not a screen to type it on. It's someone... Mary. Who is that? Mary.
The young lad that was on earlier on asking what his neighbours could do if he was firing his air rifle and disturbing them.
Yes.
I can pour 2 pints of gloss paint through his letterbox.
Oh!
Hello.
Oh, baby! Oh, baby! How do they make
Do you think
paint?
this is his neighbour?
How do they make paint?
Mix chemicals?
Okay, all right. Well, which chemicals would they be mixing?
I don't know.
Alistair, how
I
do
don't
they
know.
How do they make paint?
Is Alistair gone?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Yeah, we want to know, Alistair, and we want you to tell us,
Yeah.
without Googling it, right, I've come to you, I need to make some paint. How do I do it?
Oh, right. Get something that's coloured. What colour do you want?
Blue.
Okay. Get something that's coloured blue, ground it down to a fine powder, and add water.
Okay, well, it was easier than I thought. So for King Jaded, well done. That's her getting carried away with her emulsions. There we go.
Oh, very good.
That could do the trick, yes. I don't think I'm allowed to approve of that. Goodbye. Hello, Emma.
Hello. I've heard you're an atheist.
No, you haven't. If you have, you're misguided and mistaken.
Well, do you believe there is a God in this
No.
world?
Ah, now just a moment. Would you like to put that question again?
Do you believe that there is God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit?
Right. Do I believe in Jesus Christ as being the Son of God? The answer to that is no. Do I believe in a supernatural being, an all-powerful, all-seeing, all-believing supernatural being, described usually in the term God? No. Do I believe in the Holy Spirit? Inevitably no, because the Holy Spirit is the love bond between Jesus Christ, Son
I thought he was going to say the love bomb.
of God,
Yeah.
and God. And I cannot believe in a love bond between two commodities that I believe does not exist, or do not exist.
But can you give me your reasons for why they do not exist? Because until you have...
Unfortunately, the answer to that is no. And I'll give you a reason as to why.
Stewpot James is right. Even just the way Alan says hello, there are undertones of, I'm more intelligent than you, you're an idiot, let's get this rubbish call over with.
Is this Chris from Crackhead?
No, but you do get some of, if you listen to Beswick now, there are a couple of people that call it from here as well.
And that is that it is impossible, totally and utterly impossible to prove a negative. You cannot prove anything does not exist. You can prove, for example, a cup is a cup, but you cannot prove it does not exist. You cannot prove anything doesn't exist. You can only prove something does exist.
But there are certain things beyond proving. I mean,
there are certain things beyond proving.
Yeah, I mean, we are thinking about something who's
Less than 60 seconds to go.
supremely divine. I mean, we cannot encompass it in our minds because we are so...
Well, Emma...
nothing compared to it.
Emma, that is fine. I do not decry the existence of God. I just do not believe in the existence of God.
But you can't say that without...
I can say whatever I like, Emma.
No, if you have known the peace and joy of Christ within you...
Emma, I haven't known the peace of joy and Christ
and you
within
can
me.
If you believe in God.
Yes, I can, I'm sure, if I believe in God. If I am prepared to convince myself that God exists, I'm sure I could get some benefit, some peace and love and all that garbage from that. But I don't need to get that peace and love and benefit because I'm perfectly happy as I...
And that, dear listener, is where we end. That call will continue in part 3 of the 3rd of January 1986. We got 100 of these things to get through, and we're going through them very, very slowly, which is the way it should be. Alistair, Gatford, Mr. Bodell, Pete, I think we had someone else in the chat for a little bit. Robbie Dove, thank you. Thank you, guys. I've really enjoyed hanging out with you this afternoon.
Thank you very much. It was really good.
Thank you, boys. Tutty bye, tutty bye. I'm looking forward to bits of this being taken out of context and misunderstood and placed on Digital Spy. I won't see them, but I hope you guys have a lot of fun chewing over those crumbs that I've sent you and laughing at my apparent downfall. Lots of love to you. Go and make something. You go and try and make something. If you're a 666er and above, look at me. I'm collapsing with stomach pain. If you're a 666 and above, this will be a podcast pretty soon, and hopefully this morning show will be as well. I'm struggling to rip the audio from YouTube, but Robbie Dove has done it, and I'm just going to check that it's the right stuff. I'm sure it is. But that will be a podcast, and this will be a podcast all within the next half an hour. Fingers crossed. Here comes Big Boy. Big Boy, okay. There we go. On that, let's go and do a raid. We have the power to not only create, but also to share the joy that we get from our creation, which, you know, what do you do on Digital Spy apart from just create misery? We can go and share. Thank you, Big Boy. Quite irritating, but I love you. We can go and share the joy that we have. And we can make people happy, and that's what it's all about, you know. And if that's not your scene, that's cool. I hope everyone on Digital Spy is happy, and I wish you a blessed. And I hope you're happy. I genuinely hope you're happy. Not sure when we're back. We might do a little sponsor stream tomorrow. Otherwise, I think we're back on Wednesday. Thank you very much. Let's go and raid Jimbo.